Well, hello there, all you amazing people. Today we're going to look at how fast is Windows actually to install on a Lenovo T490. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit dirty. My desk is a mess. Sorry for that. But, so we're going to do this in real time, no cuts or anything like that. This is a customized Windows. You can also see all the other bootloaders I have in here that I have fucked around with. But like I said, this is a customized Windows version. It allows you to do offline accounts and it don't have TPM requirements, stuff like that. But let's see if we can actually get this installed on this old laptop here. And also I'm not connected to power. Maybe I should do that just in case. There you go. I have two versions of the keyboard. Oh, there, now the keyboard is working. So I have two versions. This is just the stock standard one. This is my customized one. We boot into normal. I have disabled secure boot. You can have that enabled or not. I'm using Ventoy, whatever it's called, to do these, like, have more than one version of either Linux or Windows on set USB device. You can't see it, but it's plugged into the side of the laptop. And I'm watching Steve Jobs introducing the iPhone in the background. So here, what language do we want to install? We want to do English, currency, not currency, time format. So I live in Denmark, we do Danish. You can already see a problem here. This is a problem we tend to have with Lenovo's if you're not using Lenovo's own installer. The resolution is fucked up. So I have to guess with tabs. I'll do like 1, 2, see what that happens. That is a link. 1, 2, 3, no, 1. Okay. 2. There you go. Keyboard method. Danish. Getting a few things right. This is what I deal with at work sometimes. So this is like the end license here. And I think this is also 2. 1, 2. No. 1, 2, 3. No. 1. No. 1, 2. There you go. No, now we get back. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2. There you go. Again, this is super irritating. Super irritating. So we want to figure out which one we can delete. So we can delete the one here that's called disk 0 partition 1. So all of these, this is my Ventoy is the word of it. This one down here, I have no idea what these two are, to be honest. I've never seen, like, no space, none anything. What? Yeah. But I typically just delete all these manually. Do this one here. Do this one here. And then you can basically just highlight that one and you just click enter and it should start the install, which it don't because I have to do... Oh, it does, sorry. It just takes a while. So this is like the 2425 installer or 25 installer. It's way less steps. You can do this faster if you don't have like this screen shit going on here, to be honest. So I have a Dell, and Dells don't have that resolution problem that Lenovo's have. I have looked into, what is it called, how to fix it via the BIOS and stuff like that. And hello Lenovo, you barely can. You can maybe sideload the graphic card driver, but people had like mixed results is what I'm trying to say, if I can think. So therefore I just deal with this and I just memorize how many times I have to do tab, or I have like on my separate computer. So let's say if this is my computer, I would have the pictures of the install screens. So I can see, okay, I have to tap 2 there, 3 times there, and this is a Lenovo problem. So that part of the install where it took a little bit of time, disregard that. This is probably what you want the most. And I will also go through you how to, what to take on and what to take off, and how to set, what I typically do with a stock standard Windows install. And I'm trying to fill out the time here yapping around, see we at 28%. So this is a 490. T490 with an 8th gen CPU. I think I have 16 gig of RAM in this one here. A decent Kingston SSD. So not the fastest. It is built for Windows. So the 8th gen do run Windows 11. But I don't think they run this version of Windows 11. Because they needed some instructions now for... It's a 10 or 8th, 11th gen and up for like the H or whatever the newest one is. This one should theoretically do that because I'm using something called NT Lite. I will put like a picture or a link. There will probably be a link down below to it, where you can set up offline accounts, customize this and that, customize the theme of it. You can basically customize Windows as much as if it was Arch Linux. You can customize your ISO so much with the NT Lite, which is basically just a front end for a tool that most IT experts has known about and used for decades. But it just makes it easy for you and me, that's stupid, to do customizing Windows ISOs. And I have made customized Windows ISO that installed, but there was no login screen. That installed that didn't have a desktop environment. That couldn't install because I took off the installer. You can go nuts. You can have your own license key in there. So this version of mine, it checks if there is a license key on the BIOS, because some laptops that you buy, there will be a Windows license, authentic license on the BIOS that you can utilize, but you have to tell Windows to do that. That's why you don't have to activate a lot of the, like these laptops here, if you use the recovery partition stuff, that is because their Windows version, look, is there a license either on the BIOS? They may also have provided a license pre-built into their recovery partition. And you can also set up a default user. So let's say you have, you're setting up a kiosk kind of station, and you just want like a simple guest account kind of thing that can do less than a guest account. You can have that pre-installed or pre-set up. So while it's doing all of this, it's installing the account, the permission, it's making a administrator account with a really hard password. And then it can look for, like I said, is there any licenses around? You see now we're already rebooting into Windows. You could technically right now take out your USB device. So I will do that. And you can see here, this is how big it is. I love these little Kingstons. This is 32 gig. These cost nothing. You can't even get like a lady of the night for the money of this one here, okay? She would probably not even look at you. She would not even like acknowledge you existing for how cheap this is. And this is really nice to have in a pouch like this. This is where I have all my USB devices. So just plug that in there. Pop. And then here you can see I have a lot of other USB devices. This is my tech, not my tech, but this is where I put the software and the things that I need the most. And this format here fits right into a pocket. It's really, so I have, like I said, I have my Ventor here, and I have USB devices that have software that we need, drivers that I need, programs. I even have one that's like programs I'm working on. I can highly recommend get one of these Alpaca pouches here to store USB devices and stuff like that. So if you want one of these, I would just, again, if I remember, put a link to Alpaca's website. If you live in the EU, these are really easy to get. These are like an Australian company. But they're really easy to find in EU. I don't know in the States, but there's a lot of like Denmark has stores that sells them locally, Sweden, Norway, France, Germany, the UK, even though they're not part of EU. But Alpaca equipment that is an Australian brand, is really easy to get. So I highly recommend these. I have a lot of these. There's also like inline fire or something like that. They are not as fancy as these, but they also build pouch like this. That's a little bit tad cheaper. So just a little, like, not again affiliated or anything like that. I just really like these pouches, and then I really like these small little Kingston. Like if you compare that to my old, dirty Crosshair, this is probably 10 years old or something like that. It still works, and I still use it to have Linux like at home on. So this one has Ultima or Mint at the moment, I can't remember. But you can see like this one compared to the smaller ones, oh, it's so amazing. And you can see now it's installing, and you can't see that, but I plugged in a dongle that do have network. So hopefully we can circumvent, if my ISO work, we can circumvent the whole network thing, and you can probably see a reflection of me because it's kind of reflective. And I managed to fill out the void by talking apparently. So we are already here, I guess. If you do this in a 10th gen, 11th gen, 12th gen, this would be significantly faster, okay? If you unplug the Ethernet or the internet, it won't look for drivers, so it may be a little bit faster. We could do an A/B testing on that, I don't know. What's going on? Oh, that's The Office. Oh, I'm just watching the keynote again. I really like the introduction of the iPhone because it's like almost textbook how to do presentation. Like or dislike Apple, like and dislike Steve Jobs, he knows how to do a presentation. So while this is going, I can show you the candy that I'm addicted to right now. This little sucker here. I don't know if you can see it. This is a coffee candy from Indonesia. Amazeballs. I love it. Love it. I just want to see if I could get copyrighted by showing this stuff, but I can't. Let's put this into my candy bin again. So now we are here. We are in the Denmark. So let's do yes. What keyboard layout do I want? And this is where it's a little bit fucking irritating because Danish is all the way down here. They don't do it alphabetically. First they do the Myricans, and then they do the alphabetically stuff. So Danish. Do you want to add another keyboard? No. So also in this ISO, I've checked off a lot of the background telemetry and data sending and stuff like that. But you still have to go through this little step here and what is it called? Setting up what you wanted to send and whatnot. So this is the point here where it could take longer because if I'm not mistaken, it's going to download all or most of the updates that it needs right now and install it, and this can take a long time. A long time. So it depends on your speed, the speed of the computer, whatever. Again, if you didn't have the internet connected to it, you don't have to deal with this, but you have to deal with it when you get into Linux, when you install or log on to Windows. So again, is there anything else I can show you guys while we're sitting here and waiting? Because this is going to take a little bit. Oh, yeah, maybe. So I got this. So this is a fan that you can have around your neck that you can switch around here. I'm just showing you a lot of gadgets because we're waiting for Windows to install. Like Windows takes forever to install, okay? Let's just admit that. But yeah, I can't wait to get like 10,000 degrees and like the devil's butthole to try and have this around my neck at work, have this in my face, and then do my shit and see what people think while they're sitting and sweating. This is about a $20 purchase. It's super inexpensive. It can also charge your phone. So this is an in only, this is an out only. And I was like, for $20, I want to try this one out. And we are in the boot loop of Windows, the amazingly booting, waiting for my testicles to grow out time. Now it's doing us our welcome. And I get it. Linux, we will long have been started doing stuff. Okay, I get it. So what are we doing now? Now I have to put in my name, so let's just do Kent. This one is not going to be used, this is just my test laptop, so I don't care about password. Let's just do the most secure password on earth. This is not going to have any of my personal data. This is if I want to test a Linux distribution on real hardware, test some Windows software before I actually install it. This is not going to have logged into any of my account or anything like that. So this one here is like a relic from the past. I normally just do this and I click 1, because I never had to reset my computer, just reinstall them because it's so damn easy. And on modern hardware, it's so damn fast, so I just do that. So this is the one that I was talking about, that you still have to do, but I've also disabled a lot in the background. So I just click no, no, and no. 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 I hate this, by the way, don't get me wrong. This is like, my neighbors is like angry. They are fighting each other over how stupid this is. And even with the updates that they've done to Windows, I forgot that I'm not coding this, so I have to fill in the void. So even with the optimization they've done with Windows updates, it still sucks. It's still bad. It still takes forever compared to Mac, FreeBSD, Linux, Haiku, your grandmother's toaster, your refrigerator. I don't know why this multi-billion trillion dollar company can't figure out how to do its thing. So you can see now it's installing graphic card drivers and whatnot. This part here, if you unplug the set Ethernet or connection to the internet, you don't have to do. And also, I haven't set up, it didn't ask me to do an online account. It just, like in the good old days, where we actually had a little bit more control over Windows, it was just be like, hey, what account, like, make a local account. So that's what I did. If you want to attach your mail, not your mail, your work accounts, your Microsoft accounts, you just do that in settings, okay? The way I've set this ISO up, it won't even ask you to set up an online account. And now we are in the mercy of the download speed, the Microsoft servers, how Microsoft updates is like single core, sometimes 2-core operations for some fucking weird reason. I wish they had like a little game we could play here that they had back in the day on a lot of Linux distributions. We don't. We can just sit here and see this stupid ass slideshow. Also, this looks a lot like a MacBook, by the way, but it's probably a Surface Book or something like that. So I make a new ISO every, I would say 2 times a year. So between 1 and 2 times a year. I'd say we do one around Christmas. I didn't do, well, this one is from November, I think, but I would do one in Christmas and I would do one in the summer holidays. And it takes about 2 hours. The good old 2 hours to do it. And why does it take 2 hours? Because I don't do it that often. And I do like to customize quite a lot. So it depends on how much you want to customize it. If you're just taking out telemetry, data collection, you can do it in like 10 minutes or something like that. But I do like, fuck around with the themes. See, so this one is actually a little bit broken because it has a mixture between light themes and dark theme. So the menu, in the menu you see here, they say it will be dark, but the menu bar, I don't know if you can see the menu bar. So the menu bar down here will be light. I fucked that up. but I don't want to sit and wait for it to compile, which can take anywhere depending on your hardware. So when it rebuilds the ISO, it can take, I've seen people using, or it take like a few minutes, so like 10, 15 minutes, up to like an hour and a half. I did it on a laptop like this, and it took about 40 minutes on a laptop with this spec here, because that was my old work laptop, was exactly this spec. Oh, it had my old work laptop had like fingerprint reader, but this one don't. Well, now we add it. I'm testing out I'm using the OnePlus 13R. I got tired of nothing. I may even move back over to iOS, because notifications on Android sucks. And I know I'm talking about a lot of random shit right now, but I want you guys and girls and aliens and robots to be with me and do this in real time. And we are 21 minutes into it. There may be a little bit of things that I may cut in and out, but for the most part, this is how it is. And again, forgive me for my dusty ass desktop. Desktop? Is that? Yeah, it is a desktop. Table? Why am I getting confused about what to call this thing you put shit on? I need to dust off. I haven't had a lot of time. My apartment is a mess. I don't want to show you guys that, but yeah. Another thing, again, I'm just trying to fill in the void here. I've been low-key enjoying sucking on these suckers here. I'm not a sour candy guy, but when the sourness goes away from them, like the biggest sourness goes away from them, I kind of enjoy them. But I have like a little bit ongoing joke with people at work, because every sour candy I buy, the girls, they just eat it like it was like nothing. So if you have any recommendation for like the sourest of shit you can find on the internet, let me know. Maybe even go on to my Discord and put a link so I can buy it and we can see some sour faces going on. We are 32% into the update. Hey! Is there anything else on my desk I can showcase you guys while we are waiting on the good old dragged out Windows install? Is there anything I can show you guys? I have a lot of shit, but it's mostly like old soda bottles, you know, not Asmongold soda bottles, but like plastic bottles, and then just keyboards and laptops and tablets and phones, and it's a little bit like, well, I can show you the phone that I replaced the 13R with. So this is my other phone that I used. The 13R replaces this Nothing, is it 3A Pro? And I really like the camera system in it, but as you guys can probably see, there's kind of a big bump. And this is one of those phones where I don't want to put a case on it because, well, look at it. It's beautiful as fuck, you know. But that means that when you put it on, it's like leaning like the fucking Tower of Pisa, where the fuck it's located. And the new one, the 4A Pro, looks really nice. It has a little bit of a... instead of the cliff here, it has like a whole matrix display. Is it dot matrix or something like that? And I actually like the cliffs better than that. And again, Android, notifications on Android, they are so fucking slow. I did a test. So I have like a Samsung tablet. And I had them, and those ones and this one here, they are logged into the same accounts. And on average, Samsung at best, and also had my iPhone. My iPhone 9 out of 10 times got the notifications faster. Then it was the Samsung tablet. And on average, it would take 10 to 13 minutes before this one got it. And it was the same with the Nothing phone. Any Android phone I have tried out, besides Samsung, they all are super slow with push notifications. And I've done all the tricks in the books, battery saver off and priority and blah, 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 all of that shit. The only phones that is close to iPhone with push notifications are good old Samsung. I don't like Samsung. They are almost worse than Apple in some cases. But if I don't want to go back to iOS, I may buy a Samsung. The reason why I'm thinking about iOS again, app capabilities, compatibility. So I'm using a DJ Osmo. If I want to use the software where I can see what's going on, remote control and stuff like that, on any Android phone, I have to sideload it in. On iOS, it's in the store. And I don't understand that because typically iOS or Apple is more strict than Android. But you have to download the DJI software from their website and sideload it into Android. And it's all these irritations that I don't want to deal with. It's also a lot of the reasons why a lot of people stick with this slow-ass fucking install on Windows and deal with all the MS slop and all that shit is because you don't have to do all of these extra steps to get software running that you actually want to use, if that makes sense. And you also have to remember, you do this one time. One time. This is not an install you sit and do every week, every month. Nerds like me that like to keep Windows fresh, we kind of do this once every 1 to 2 years. And so what I'm trying to say here is the install time of any OS, Mac, Windows, Linux, FreeBSD, Haiku, your grandmother's toaster's OS should not be the determining factor if you want to use it or not. Because it's something you do like one time. Maybe you do it twice during the lifetime of what this is, or 5 times over 10 years or something like that. If you cannot deal with slow installs, etc., 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 or whatever, for something you do one time or 3 or 2 times over the lifespan of the product, you have bigger issues than the software have issues. Okay, I know it's irritating. I know we all want to just open it up and get into it. That's why a lot of companies, they have pre-installed Windows or pre-installed Linux for you. It's pre-set up. You just have to make your little account skis. Because they know that you're impatient. You're an impatient boy. You want to go on Pornhub right away. So they do all of this for you. But it's a good idea, I think, to see how does how does Windows actually install on hardware it should not be run on. In today's world, with today's Windows, if you're running an 8th gen machine, you should not do much more than office work, light coding, your random YouTube videos and stuff like that. Don't have 10,000 Pornhub tabs open. Don't have 10,000 midget throwing sites open. This machine is a grandma machine. Even with Linux on it, this is a grandma machine. If you want to do modern tasks on Linux, I still recommend that you should not use a computer that's more than 5 years old. If you want to do heavy coding, development, research, editing, creative work, if you're doing any of those things like on the intermediate to pro side, like you're not just like a noob fucking around learning the software, but you're actually working with it, don't use any computers that's more than 5 years old. Mac, Windows, or Linux, it don't matter. And when I say 5 years old, I would say don't use anything that's not in the Apple side. Don't use anything that's not an M1 or up. M1 or up. Okay, so for Apple, you could say 6 years, because we're 2026 now. Let's see how much time we wasted. 30 minutes. This is going to take a long ass time, I guess. But yeah, like I said, don't. If you're an intermediate user to pro user, don't use any laptop that's more than 5 years old. You will get disappointed most of the time. You could optimize it. You could use a more streamlined Linux distro, but in the end, you're basically just buying yourself hell for year. It's not like if you, let's say, you throw Arch on this one here and you use like a tiny Windows man, means that you can keep, I can do heavy development for this for the next 5 years. No, you can't. All of these, like min-maxing your laptops, is something you do if you're just waiting to save up for the laptop you actually want. So your laptop is getting slow in the tooth. Then you may be like, let's put Linux on it, let's put something, or streamline like a streamlined Windows on it, and use it and deal with it until I've saved up the money for the laptop that I actually need. That's where it makes sense. Your coworkers don't want to sit and wait for you to compile your project when they're long done doing it on their machines, because you want to run Linux, or Haiku, or FreeBSD, because you want to use old hardware. You're holding the team down, the company down, and you may not have a job the next 3 months. If they always are waiting on you finishing your job because my Linux, my retro laptops, I don't want to buy a newer laptop. And you have to remember, a lot of these things is the reason why we do this. A lot of people don't upgrade because they want to upgrade. They upgrade because they need to. And they update a lot. That's why, like, stuff like this, a lot of companies, they only have laptops for like 2 or 3 years. They buy them in cycles. So they make like with Lenovo, they make like, we buy 10,000 or 5,000 or 200. And they get like a service agreement with them and stuff like that. And then they have to last 2 to 3 to 5 years. And that's why you typically see after 2 years, you see 2 years old Lenovo, Dells, business laptops flood the market. That's because that's when they get them. They get the newer version. So they have this agreement with Lenovo that every 5 years, we refresh our suite of laptops. So they get a massive discount because they're buying hundreds and thousands of laptops. And then smaller companies, students, you and me, we will buy these old ones for web browsing, porn hopping, light office work, light development, which they're great for. But you will rarely use a laptop like this in a medium to big size company or in a professional setting. Because you will sit and wait. Unless you're an accountant, unless you just do emails, and there's edge cases here, okay? But for the most part, if you're doing medium to heavy work in a business, you will not use this laptop. There's a reason why these flood the market every 3 to 4 to 5 years. It's because they are becoming, the hardware is becoming the bottleneck. Not the software, the hardware. Even if you use, like I said, Haiku, Linux, or something like that, you just maybe expanding, or extending, or what the word is, the time that you need to, or you extend your boss's patience a little bit before he or she is like, Bob, we are waiting on you. We've been waiting for you to compile. Everyone is done, and you're still sitting here 15 minutes into your lunch break to wait for your machine to be done when everyone else is done. You know, you have to use your lunch break to keep up with anyone. So you typically see a lot of people using overpowered machines or the same power machine that do a lot of the same tasks, because then, you know, they can kind of work and flow. I know that this takes this long on my computer, it should probably take that long on your computer. And this is one of those misconceptions a lot of the hobbyist world have, is that, well, I can sit here at home and I can do my little coding projects on a 490. Yes, you can. You could probably also make a little bit of money as a semi-professional on it. But trying to edit videos on a 490 versus a T14 Gen 6 or 7 or what the fuck they're up to now. It's like 5 or 6 times faster. Even if you get like this is an 8th gen, try and render a video on a 12th gen. I have a 12th gen Dell. I tried to render a video on this one and on the 12th gen, night and day. And the 12th gen is like 3 or 4 years old now. Intel 12th gen. And it's like not even double the speed, it's more than double the speed to do it on the 12th gen than on this one here. So for you at home, that where you are not on time constraints, you're not on deadlines, you don't have to, fill up key point indicators and cap and boards and time restrictions. You don't have to fill up bars so your manager can look like he's actually doing something. He can take those matrix and show them to the boss and say, look, my drones are doing what I'm telling them to do because they're filling up their bars. You don't have to deal with that at home. So if it takes 10 hours to render a video, 5 hours or 5 minutes, it's just how much patience do you have. That's the biggest bottleneck at home. So that's why a machine like this would work. Where in an office setting, when you're doing real work that costs the company or customers real money, and you show up with your T4 MacBook Pro, or you, what is it, like T450, because, I can change the batteries in it, and I can update this and that, and everyone's just sitting there and be like, are you done yet? Can you run these heavy softwares that we want you to run as efficient as us? Can you even have your Cloud Copilot running to help you with your work? You probably can't on any of those, and if you don't do that, you probably don't have a job, like I said, in 2 to 3 months. You can maybe not use a lot of the tools as much. You can do a lot of the work in lighter the IDEs, but at some point you have to use the big ones. And then you're outside of the workflow of the normal work environment, and it's really, really... And the split between the hobbyist and the corporate world, the professional world, is massive. Like, it's bigger than you think. A lot of people think because they are hobbyists and they do something their grandmother don't know about, and they know more than their friends, they are closer to the pro world over here. You're not even, like, the work that 99% of us do at home on our laptops, and we call us power users, it's not even tiptoeing into to what the professional world are doing. Yes, you are coding, but not in the same way they do in the professional world. Yes, you are editing, but not like a professional editing team is editing. Yes, you're researching, but not like a professional researching team. Where time is money, how fast your computer is can mean we are making 2 million or 1 million this month. We are willing to do a lot of compromising at home in the hobby world that they're not willing to take in the corporate world. Like, you are not willing to pay $20,000 a month for a license to run a software, but they are in the corporate world. Why are they doing it in the corporate world? Because if it breaks, they can call someone and say, come and fix it. And if they don't do it in a timely manner, they can either sue them, get money back. Basically, they have someone to yell at. You don't need that overhead in the hobbyist world, because when your shit goes down, you're not missing or losing thousands of dollars per minute or hundreds of thousands per day. If your system goes down, who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck. If systems goes down in the corporate world, they lose money from second one. So it's more financially beneficial for them to pay thousands of dollars a month so they can call an expert up that will fix it in 5 minutes that will take you a day to fix. That's how big the divide between the pro and the hobby world is. And now we're waiting for the good old fucking update here. And again, Had you not been logged into the internet like I am right here after the account creation, you'll be thrown directly back into Windows. So this is worst case scenario. Running on, when the fuck did this came out? Like 2018, so 6, 7, 8-year-old laptop, almost a 10-year-old laptop. And this will be faster on a modern Lenovo. And when I say modern, I say anything between 3 years and younger. It will be faster on that. You will longer be done on those. You're not wasting people's time and money if you're using a modernist laptop. Imagine someone wants to run Windows on laptops. Like, let's say I had to install Windows on 100 of these laptops because a boss is like, oh, we have to use these more upgradable laptops. We have to use the 490 or 480 or 460 because, Lenovo upgradability. And even with Linux, it will take a shit ton of time to set those up. But especially with Windows. Imagine, like, I could spend a week doing this on hundreds of laptops, even if I install them all at once. Because I still have to plug in, user accounts and set up corporate software, set up security software, depending on what the company runs and don't run for security software. This is one of the times where Windows does its Windows thing. I sometimes get impatient and click the start button, which I don't recommend. Just wait it out like I did here. The fun thing here is I can take out my laptop, close it down, shut it off. It will still work. It will still update. But now most of our drivers should be installed. Most of the updates, security updates should be installed. We can go in and see when we log in. We can see what Windows Update actually are doing. It's an interesting thing. I need to see what the time says, so give me a second. 42 minutes. 42 minutes, Bobby. 42 minutes, and we're waiting. I get it. I could have installed 4 Ubuntu laptops. I could probably have, if the internet was not on, I could have installed maybe 3 Windowses. But you have to remember, all of these things that you're doing now, you have to do it when you log on anyway. Because when you log on, it's going to download all the drivers, it's going to download all the Windows updates, download, the shit that it's doing now, it will then just do when you logged in. Yes, granted, you can still use your computer, so you can still, download Chrome or whatever browser you want to use. You're not just sitting and waiting like we are doing now. So there is a little bit of like how you're utilizing your time the best. Like, should I have unplugged it? Probably. Log in, plug it in, and then while it's downloading all this shit, I can still do some work or some setting up. Let's say you have a company NAS, you can attach that. You can install some company software while it's doing these updates in the background. But it's just like worst case scenario. It's an interesting thing. And I got to show you some gadgets I'm laying around and bitch and moan about hobbyists versus professionals and how they are like night and day. Even though we all love to think that we are, like, because we are hobbyists, we can be plugged into any IT department on earth and we will just work there with no training and whatsoever. No matter how smart you are as a hobbyist, you could not just be plopped into an IT department and function there. You will need some training. Not as much as a newbie or someone never done it. You will be faster at getting to the point where you can be self-sufficient, but you still need training. You still need to learn about the company culture, how they do things, how the ticketing system work if they use that, what their philosophy is on security and all that shit. There will still be some onboarding, but of course, if you are like a hobbyist, a professional hobbyist, or whatever you will call your super user, yes, like you will be faster at getting comfortable in that job than your cleaning lady or your cleaning guy or, the plumber that is connecting the pipes for your toilet. But that's all. It's just you're just a little bit ahead. And now we're in here. The time don't match or anything like that don't match, but so we can log on and stung the hole. Hello! Doing some finishing touches. Sit back. Get drunk. Get frustrated. Throw shit at the screen. Hire monkeys who throw shit at the screen because it takes so long. Like, again, I am not justifying that it takes this long for Windows. Linux is way better in this case. Haiku, FreeBSD, way better. This is like the worst case scenario for us, for you, if you work in a small company that don't use active deployment, Azure, and all these fancy things where you can roll out. You just plug your laptop in, connect it to the cloud, the infrastructure, and then you can basically install 10,000 laptops at the same time, like they do on the Lenovo's factory floor and stuff like that. So if you work for a mom and pop shop or you work for like a company where you're the IT guy, the plumber, the cook, the security expert, the developer at once, this is probably what you have to deal with. You do a lot of manual things because they just can't afford the big systems that do it automatically, or they don't even know about it, and you're the one that introduces it to them. Oh, this is not black. Why are you not the dark theme? But, now the time is actually correct. So if you go in here, we click here. Is this activated? I think it is activated because I think this actually have a key on the... we can see that by going to personalization. And it don't say that we need to activate it, so it is activated. So I like this one, so let's do that one. There you go. Let's see how many updates. There will still be updates that we have to. You also have to download Lenovo Vantage and stuff like that. Updates available. Why are you not showing them to me? Okay. Again, Windows updates are a fucking mess. Attention needed. Download and install don't work. Why? I like doing that. There you go. Now they came. Sometimes you have to... So you can see here there's still a lot of downloads. There's still a lot of updates you need to do. But there would be more. So this is how long it takes. Let's see... 48 minutes. Let's say 48 minutes it takes to install it. I hope this was a little bit interesting. I hope you saw some fancy shit, gadgets, whatnot. If you want more of these things where we test things on real hardware, maybe you want to see more, gadget videos or things that I use on my day-to-day basis as a hobbyist and an IT guy, a little bit of development. We can do that. I will make more room on my desk. I will clean my speakers so they're not that dusty. And I can show that now because now I have a fucking proper camera. So see you all later. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.